All right, we're back. This is Gavin Bick's podcast. We just people often ask me, ask Vikram, what do we talk about? What is the podcast about? I think it's pretty much we just say a lot of inappropriate things. So that's what it's about. If the kids are watching, I just want to warn all you kids, anyone less than 7 year old, please make sure all your parents are tucked in, they're in bed because they just might get corrupted. So let's all the under sevens and maybe some of them over sevens as well. Please, let's continue. So we thought about that cricket was over, but then now we are already back with cricket. This is going to be a short preview about the India and Australia series that's about to start. I think it's going to start today. Let's start with, I'm just looking at the squads and I don't know, I wasn't going to start on this thing, but what the hell is this thing? I see Prithvi Shaw is in the test squad. Is Crick Info like gone nuts? What is happening? Have they lost their mind? Is he there? Is he really there?
Yeah, I think they have taken a lot of players as backers because if someone gets injured, it will be very difficult to get someone in from India because of the bio-bubble situation. So they have got more than 15 players. So yeah, I think he is in.
I used to play cricket and I run 20 kilometers every day. They should take me also. So I definitely am better
and
than
about Australia as well.
Yeah, I know Australia as well. I know the system. I know how it works. I can do sledging better than these idiots. And going by Prithvi Shaw's record in the last four ODIs, he probably made like one run and like played 7 deliveries. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna able to whack it better than him. Damn it! Let's go back and the test. One day international start today. The day nighter. Both are in Sydney. And then they go to Canberra, a place where nobody goes, which also, if people don't know, happens to be Australia's capital. People are like, what the fuck? Canberra? What the hell is that? It just, I have no idea. Nobody ever goes there. So first 2 internationals will be there, then having Canberra, and then they have a tour match in Canberra. No, sorry, they have T20 in Canberra. So wherever they go now, it's like buy one get one free situation. So if you're already here, might as well play another game. Where you going?
Yeah, because they don't want to move a lot. That's the whole point, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know what you're looking at. I'm looking at the squads right now for ODI. See, it's literally impossible to predict ODI and T20 because anything is possible. If Australia were the Australia of the old, I would have said it's going to be a huge dropping because of the whole situation. But Australia is not the Australia of the old. So even if they're winning, they'll probably end up losing. If they're losing, they'll probably end up losing. And India is going to be overseas. It's going to be difficult. And it's Australia and it's COVID-19, bio-bubble and all that nonsense. So when I'm looking at the Australian squad, looks pretty neat. I see a few new names. Do you also have the scorecard open, like the squad card? I'm using Cricinfo. They have the squads and everything.
Okay. No, I'm not opened it.
So you can open it if you want.
Yeah.
So because I'm looking at few people like Sean Abbott, who is completely new to Australian setup. Then Ashton Agar, obviously been part of it. So Cameron Green is completely new. He is absolutely green. Moses Henriquez, he has... Oh, by the way, Cameron Green is a new guy, right? Who just hit a lot of runs. And he is apparently very, very tall. I think he's like 200 centimeters or something.
Okay.
Inches. Yeah, something. Is it inches? Sorry, centimeters. So that's like...
Centimeters, yeah.
Like very, very tall. Like for a batsman, he's an all-rounder. He bowls like right arm medium, but he's not like super quick or anything. But apparently a very tall player who just made a lot of runs and born on June 3rd. Another devil person born on June 3rd. Don't worry, I'll find somebody who's born on your birthday as well. Now, and then they have Maxwell, obviously, who just, hit and miss situation. Labuschagne. Daniel Sams is there after playing so wonderfully for Delhi. I say that obviously with a lot of pun intended. Mitchell Stark is back there. I think apart from Mitchell Stark, I think everybody has been playing. And Mitchell Stark just comes back. He just blows everybody away. And then I'm quickly looking at India's squad. Sanju Samson is there. Shubman Gill is there. And Shardul Thakur is there. The new players I'm talking. Manish Pandey, Kuldeep is there. What happened to the skinny baby? Oh yeah, he's there. I thought he was also getting married or something. Yuzvendra Chahal. Only thing I want to say is that Rohit is not there, and there's a lot of talk about Rohit and a lot of politics, and because a lot of people love him, it's like a Dhoni situation all over again. Now that Dhoni is not there, it's like we want somebody, we want to do the partisanship. I really don't see how it's going to be a problem, and I don't mean to underestimate how amazing Rohit Sharma is. But you need to understand that no matter how amazing you are, if somebody can fill your spot, then it's okay. It's when somebody cannot fill your spot, then you become much bigger than you are. But if somebody can,
Yeah.
also because he's not Jasprit Bumrah, because there's no other
Huh.
Jasprit Bumrah. But when this guy goes and Rahul can easily open, and also Rahul will be wicket keeping because all the other wicket keepers are either injured or just really bad or fat.
Yeah.
Um, or retired on 15th August as well. Otherwise,
And
they would have been there.
Rahul is going to be the vice captain as well. So that is something new.
Yeah, I never understood what is vice captain, except that when the captain gets injured, then you're like, okay, I'm going to take over the field, and everybody's like, no, we're not listening to you. But he apparently for us, the best vice captain has been the player I've criticized a lot over the years, particularly for test matches. Sorry, for T20. Who's that guy?
This guy, Rahane.
Rahane, yes, thank you. I even forgot it now. After I criticize, I forget people. That's just terrible. So Rahane has been the greatest deputy because whenever he becomes a captain, he always wins. He is the only person who has the 100% test victory record. And I'm talking about no draws, just wins. 2 matches, 2 wins or something like that.
That
That's
also
crazy.
against good teams.
Okay, the one day international starts Sydney. I don't think you can't say much about the pitch and everything. It's just going to be nice and the weather's going to be nice. It's going to be nice in summary, which doesn't actually impact us. Rohit Sharma will not be missed. Also, the fact that he's already replaceable, not because he's not great. I think he is definitely has to be one of the greatest one-day international batsmen. But the fact is, we just have a lot of amazing batsmen, right now in form, and he can be replaced. And he can be replaced well, also with a better fielder. Also, he is really a massive injury suspect, or people don't even know what is happening. So for a one-day international, I don't think he's going to be able to last 100 overs. So it's going to be difficult. Team looks pretty solid. I do not know if there's a chink in the armor at all. Like, it just looks pretty neat.
Yeah, I think the problem would be the lower order. I mean, lower order in the sense then after, because I think we don't have a bowling all-rounder apart from Jadeja. But then Jadeja's bowling in Australia, I'm not sure how effective it will be. I mean, it'll be good, but I think I don't know whether Hardik Pandya will bowl because he didn't bowl at all in the IPL. So that is again there to be seen. But if he bowls, then they'll have some extra options because they got a good wicketkeeper in KL. I mean, wicketkeeper batsman in KL Rahul. At least they don't have to, because in limited overs, KL Rahul is better. I think better than the other contenders. Like I mean, not even limited overs in any format. And I think that solves some issues for the squad, because then there was Dhoni. Then he never knew that how he will come out, and then there was Rishabh Pant, who was not very dependable. So I think the only problem I see is the bowling all-rounder, which I think will be missed unless Hardik Pandya starts bowling. And even if he starts bowling, I think he won't bowl 10 overs. So it could be something like he bowls 4 to 5 overs and then rest of the overs is bowled by Ravindra Jadeja, because looking at this team, I think they don't have a 6 bowler. I know people like having 5 solid bowlers, but sometimes someone gets hit, especially the leg spinners. So then we can have a problem that there's no one to cover for any of them. So yeah, I think that is the problem.
Kuldeep. You don't have to be sly about it.
I don't think Kuldeep will get a game if Jadeja is playing, unless Chahal gets hit in the first match or something, because Kuldeep, to be really honest, he has been going down. I mean, not honest, it's there for everyone to see that he has not been performing. He was dropped from his IPL team. I mean, how bad it can get now.
It's a different situation. I mean, I think it just gives you a bit more. Sometimes you just need few more overs as well. It kind of works in your favor when you come in. People are not just straight away,
that is
rip into you completely.
That is
and at Sydney also, you have to understand, like Sydney,
no,
I don't know what
ground.
pitch they're going to get, but if Sydney is generally known for spin, but it's a one-day international, so it's not like a test match thing. I mean, obviously, whenever you say like something's going to spin, you always say from test match point of view, right? So Sydney has been the pitch, but it's the first day, and it's probably going to be a fresh pitch or probably a drop-in pitch. I don't know what they're going to use. Most likely a drop-in. I'm not even say it's. Are they even playing at SCG first of all? It just says Sydney.
Yeah.
I just assume it's SCG. Is it SCG?
Yeah, it is SSG, yeah.
Where the hell does it say it's SCG? I have no idea what it is. You know already?
Yeah, I'm
Oh yeah,
checking.
it is. Yeah, got
checking,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, got it. So because they have like multiple grounds right now, so I was not too sure
right.
where they're gonna end up playing. Maybe it's like COVID certification or some shit like that. So
Yeah, I would like
why didn't they
to.
get Suresh Raina? Maybe he could have just come in and just say, I have to leave Australia. I'll die in Australia. I was like, dude. Oh, he by the way he's there in the brunch now. He has a lot of time. He came in Hindustan Times brunch with his wife and his two daughters. They have all
Okay.
nice names. And they were just saying how life is amazing, and they were like reminiscing and everything. So I think it's more of like a retirement pitch or something from there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him. He's already retired from international cricket, but okay, let's not talk about Raina too much.
Let's not talk about it.
So
I have no
Australia's.
prediction. Yeah, go on. Sorry, what do you want to say?
Oh no, I was just saying that Australian team also looks good. Only thing I can see is they have lot of new players. I mean, lot of players who don't have much experience or they are not in good form. For example, Maxwell. Labuschagne is there. Labuschagne was playing really well. But apart from Aaron Finch, Labuschagne, and obviously Steve Smith and David Warner, they don't have. I don't see anyone who is like very dependable kind of. Alex Carey is a good player, but I'm not sure about his performance. They did beat England earlier this year when cricket started happening. 2-1, I think they won in England. So they are also. I mean, there's no past performance to gauge these people because they have not been playing too much cricket apart from the IPL. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I think the first match at least.
Yeah, I think whoever wins first match naturally. I mean, that's the most. I'm doing the Sunil Gavaskar commentary here, Sunil Gavaskar podcast. Like whoever wins the first match, they will have a massive advantage. Yeah, except what else could it be? If you win the first match, would you not have a massive advantage, or there doesn't matter, or whatever? Or then they will have to lose the next two matches to win. I was like, yes, we know that. That's just mathematics. Now, I differ with you on that. Because I don't feel that IPL should be any judge of, particularly for Australian batsmen. For Indian, yes. But not for Australia, because when you're in Australia, that's a complete different mind game altogether. So it's like saying James Anderson in England and James Anderson in Sri Lanka is a complete different James Anderson. It's like it's just a different person. Also, Labuschagne and everybody and Stephen Smith. I'm looking at it not a fact that Stephen Smith did not play very well. I'm looking for a fact that he was trying to do a lot of different things there, and also I'm also looking at a fact that Stephen Smith got a lot of playing time. Which will be useful. And now he's been playing in the nets. He's been coming out and telling everybody how amazing he is. Pat Cummins and everybody's going to bowl better. So they had a lot of time. Also in Australia, they're playing something else here recently. And that's how they picked Cameron Green, who hit like 197 or something. Then he got LBW or some shit like that. And a lot of the new players, I noticed one thing, I don't know if you noticed it, but apart from Cameron Green, who is actually a very good prodigy, most of the other players, they are fairly old, which is like the old Australian style. So they've been in and around the circuit for a really long time. So they won't face nerves, which actually becomes a huge factor in one of the crunch games when somebody you face nerves. Only thing I would say about Australia is nothing to do with the squad. It's just to do with the fact that this new Australian side, it doesn't have that thing that they're just gonna, no matter what happens, they're gonna win. That was the old Australian squad. But this Australian squad is sometimes, in a way, they even winning a match, they end up losing, which is something that needs to be addressed. But you can't keep talking about it. That can only happen that once you start winning, once you get that confidence in, and after that, you just don't get the nerve or jitteriness when you're around, and you just start feeling a bit more imperious and start feeling like, invincible. Let's not say invincible, but you start to feel that, yeah, this is my game, and you know what you need to do without thinking about other things, that can I lose this match, something might happen, or what is my son doing at home, all those things. But
the intimidation is not there. I feel like going back to past Australian series, it always used to feel that There's a lot of mind games being played. There are a lot of things being said in the media. And now it's like their media has also become very soft. There's so much admiration for Virat Kohli and all that. So it doesn't feel that much hostile compared to how it was maybe 5 to 6 years back.
Correct. So now what I'm thinking is I don't know how they will come out. If they come out really aggressive, they end up winning the first game, and then they can actually go on a huge on a run as well. It can be a
Yeah,
very black tour for India as well. I'm just saying that's just one
yeah,
side
yeah.
of the
It
coin.
can, it can. Yeah, yeah.
It can turn
Obviously.
really ugly as well. And particularly the fact that if they end up losing one day internationals, India, T20 really don't matter, and they will go all out anyway. And Mitchell Stark is there. These guys can run over, like, run through your team very quickly. And then come the test matches. I'm not going to make any prediction for T20 or one day internationals. I don't even know if you need to really look at the squad. There's a fresh squad again. T20 is just like, it's like a casino. Anybody wins. I don't
Yeah.
really see much in the obviously, as you said, Hardik Pandya depends if does he bowl or does he not bowl, and that does matter. I agree with
Yeah.
that. I have a feeling, again, doesn't make any sense because we are Indian, that he was actually holding himself off for the bigger tour, for the India tour,
Yeah, even
and
I
that
was
is my
feeling like that.
prediction
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he was fit. It's not like, I mean, come on, do you think he could not, the way he was swinging his arms when he was batting, the way he's jumping, do you think he couldn't have bowled? Obviously, he could have bowled, but what he was thinking, like, let's stress it out enough, but let's not put the stress that way. And there's probably some tendons and some muscles were there, but probably not completely recovered. If it's like, let's not stretch certain muscles and
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
keep it intact, and let's see how I'll go, because he was probably also looking forward to the big test matches also, which will really need like the biggest endurance levels of your
Yeah.
life. So
Yeah, yeah.
it just sucks the life out of you.
Yeah,
So I don't
correct.
know, but that's the only one which is I would feel, and how he ends up performing, how some other people end up performing, and Ravindra Jadeja and all. I think at the end it's just about performance. Players, I think everybody has the capability in there, so that is not a concern for me. There's a couple of new people, new as in like, but they're also similar to Australia. They have a lot of experience. I'm talking about Shardul Thakur, Shubman Gill is obviously somebody I don't particularly prefer personally, but I don't debate his talent. I just debate his intent. Navdeep Saini, Sanju Samson is there, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be whoever plays really good cricket, they're gonna win. But if
Yeah.
I'm from, I mean, it's very natural. If you're just from a betting point of view, because we're going to Australia and also the COVID restrictions are there, so Australia just needs to start very well. They can actually get on a roll. That's why, apart from any other time, because this is it's not even 5 1 days, 3 1 days, three tests. So the naturally Sunil Gavaskar things happen. Like the first match just becomes literally the most important match. But particularly the first match of the series becomes very important because it's going to be a very short series for the short format cricket.
Yeah.
So it will help people get on a roll. Also, if you go to a different country, particularly a big country like Australia, and then cricketing country like Australia, and then you win the first game, you can, after that, it will be very difficult for you to get steamrolled or or
Yeah.
whitewashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that I would say that if India can win the first match, or at least try to win it convincingly, or do not lose badly, will be okay. But again,
Yeah.
we have shown that even when sometimes Australia wins like amazingly, they can still turn it around and just lose the next match. So we
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying there's one possibility of a whitewash, and I am slightly fearful of that. I just can't see it the other way around. That's all. I'm not saying India will get whitewashed. I just can't see the other way around, that Australia gets whitewashed by India. But I can definitely see some chance, around 20-25% chance, 1 in 4 or 1 in 5, that Australia might actually end up whitewashing India, at least in
Yeah.
one day international, at least in one of those series,
Series. Yeah. Yeah.
the short
I think it
format
can
one.
happen. Yeah. Yeah. It can really
It can
happen
happen.
because there's
And not,
just no. Yeah, there's just no break, right, in between. Plus, you can't go out and everything. So it all plays on your mind. Once you lose the first one badly, then there is just no time to bounce back, right? So, yeah.
Also, I think the more people talk about that, oh, I'm not able to get out and other things, I think that just also plays a part, because you're not comfortable. That means you're saying, because I really don't see that as a sports person. If you're in China, if you know how they train these people don't do anything ever, and they do that for 4 years straight, and then they do Olympics. So they don't
Yeah. Yeah.
complain. For them, these COVID restrictions are nothing. If you really
Yeah.
see, right, how Virat Kohli was living in Dubai. These guys had everything there. Like literally,
Yeah.
they just had
Yeah.
everything that you can possibly ask for.
Yeah.
If you and I were to go there, we'd be like, wow, this is luxury. Can we just live like this forever? So
Yeah.
it's all relative speaking,
Yeah.
because once you have all the privileges, then you just feel like, okay, some privileges are taken away. But for people like us, it'll be like, wow, this is like really heaven. So, and I don't want to get into tests right now. We'll talk about them
Yeah.
later. But I just want to talk about one point that I spoke with you on the phone, and that was about Virat Kohli's paternal leave. Now, we recently found out that when Sunil Gavaskar had, I'm pretty sure it's probably that Gavaskar who played like one day international, one test match, and
Yeah.
then
Rohan
now
Gavaskar. Yeah.
commentates Rohan. So apparently he didn't get to see him for like a couple of months or something like that, and because he was on a tour. I haven't Googled it, I haven't searched it, but I read somewhere that Kapil Dev recently in those meetings that they have all these smart people come in and talk about stuff, leadership summit or something they call that, and then they talk all these amazing things. So that's where he said, I'm not sure if he was criticizing Virat Kohli, was just saying generally, because obviously it's journalism, so they put all the quote. But my point is not that. Even when I'm going to say right now, I'm also not criticizing Virat Kohli, but I think I saw it coming. And I personally, if I were in Virat Kohli's situation, if I was a squad member, I would not have gone. That is, I'm 100% on that. Because not just is because it's my nature, but I feel I feel the right thing to do is actually sticking in, because all the time these people always say, and I've always said this to you, Bikram, I criticize everybody for that. And as everybody knows, I really admire and love Virat Kohli. And I don't like Sachin Tendulkar. I do not appreciate Mahendra Singh Dhoni right now, because I always felt these people were great batsmen, great players and everything. But every time they said they played for India, they're playing everything for the country. They did not. They played for themselves. They retired for themselves. They made a lot of money. When I say a lot of money, like if you and I get Diwali bonus, which we don't anymore, because our family used to get Diwali bonus. You know, by they're like family bonus, extra money. Our Diwali bonus is like, you get fucking chocolates or something. So we would be happy. But these guys get paid every single day doing an ad, and they have contracts running into tens of crores in, like when they're selling like a chammach. And there are like 16 of those contracts. I'm talking about per year. So we're looking at hundreds of crores running every year. So when people say I'm working for the country, that you're really not. But this is the time when you actually showcase that you're working for the country, when your son is born, and you say like, I'm not saying Virat Kohli is having a son. I do not have any further information on that. I just said son. It could be daughter. It could be anybody.
Child.
So child. So whenever that child is born, so this is the time you show I'm working for the country and I will stick around here, because it's still a privilege. People can dispute it, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I definitely feel it's a privilege to go and see your son and daughter being born. It's not a fundamental right. Because if you're there on a duty, and this is a massive duty, because literally this tour can become a really bad tour for India. And just because India plays well should not mean that it was fine. Also, it should not mean that Virat Kohli going away was okay, because India wins and does okay in test matches. And if India does badly, then, oh, Virat Kohli should not have gone. Everything is Anushka's fault, which will obviously happen naturally with all those right wingers or whatever, the right side of this thing, which they always blame Anushka. Then Anushka will be tweeting something like, oh, everybody hates me. It's all my fault, blah, blah, blah. But but I think either way, regardless of the result, I am not in favor of Virat Kohli going. I would have wanted him to stick around and stayed throughout the tour, because right now the situation is he couldn't have actually gotten, I think under normal circumstances he would have probably gone for a test and then come back for the last 2 test matches. But now with the COVID restriction, that doesn't make any sense, because you can't do it, because if you go away, then you have to go and bubble, then you're done for. So it's pretty much done for. My point is that I would not have done this thing. I am not particularly saying that Virat Kohli is doing the right thing, but according to me, I would not have done that, because according to me, that would not be the right thing to go away at this situation, particularly when you're committed to a big team for India. And how many people actually become India captain, which is we're looking at 1 out of a billion people who actually become a captain. So this is responsibility was there, but that's the decision he's making, and I'm not at all surprised, because when you're that rich, particularly the person who's married, who's actually at a highest echelon of her art. I'm not saying she's the greatest actor, but I'm just saying she's A-lister and she's right up there and people respect her. So when you do that, you naturally become automatically, there's something happens in your body, you become this great feminist. So you have to make sure. And as a feminist, you always feel like my child is being born. you're the father, you're supposed to be there, because now everything becomes equal. You have to be there. This is the right thing. And Virat Kohli has openly said also, like, this is the most important thing for me and I need to be there. So I respect his decision. I would not have done the same, and I have no doubt that it's going to adversely impact India, and it could be a really tough, at least, because it doesn't matter if you lose one day international or T20, because at the end of the day it doesn't matter. But when you lose test, and when we particularly lose test 4-0, people remember that, and people always remember that for the next 3-4 years till India comes back here.
Yeah,
and gets
it's
again.
Yeah, and it's a very important test as well, because now we have the World Test Championship, and all the series matter. And I was just reading about it. If India loses 4-0 in this test series, it will, and New Zealand, I mean, there is New Zealand series also coming up. We are not playing with New Zealand, but there is some mathematical calculation. So if we lose this series 4-0 and New Zealand does well in their series, then it'll be very difficult for us to be in the top 2 of the World Test Championship, which is basically what will happen is, at the end of this cycle, the top 2 teams will play each other to decide who will be the test champion who will win the test championship. So for India, this is a very important series, because because we have lost the New Zealand series, and there was one series which was cancelled due to COVID, and now if we lose this series 4-0, it will be very difficult for India to come back in the top 2. So it is important as well. And
also I think the rules have changed, and because of the rules now, Australia has actually become number 1.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, although Cricinfo is still not updating. I don't know what's wrong with Cricinfo. They need to really start updating stuff. Because I read somewhere that I did not read what exact the rules have changed, but I think it's fair, because I noticed that Australia was actually getting very less points for a lot of amazing victories, and India seemed to be getting way too many points for like not winning that much. I was like, I think something wasn't right about the championships for the point system, and I think they fixed it. And that's why India hasn't complained, because I think everybody knew this was not looking right, because Australia won like really big matches and they didn't seem to get a lot of points from it. And it was just practically you can collect a lot of points by every victory or something, so which you can just beat up anybody, and you can just, but beating England in England was something massive, and they weren't actually collecting a lot of points for that. So I think they fixed that and rectified it, and now Australia is number 1. And so now if they lose 3-0 or 4-0 or something like that, it will become very, very difficult. Where are the test matches? Because that's also matters, like where exactly are the test matches? Because first is in Adelaide, and I'm pretty sure that's the one which is day-nighter, and that's the one Virat Kohli is playing.
Adelaide, then they move on to MCG, Melbourne, then to SCG, and the last match is at Brisbane, the Gabba.
Brisbane. So Brisbane is going to be okay. Sydney, so they don't have Wacker. And I think Wacker is anyway, that ground is anyway gone. They already have a new ground there, which was known for the really high speed, super fast bowling. So it's still too early for that.
There let's not get into
India
that.
doesn't get drubbed completely in the one-dayers or T20s. There will be confidence in the way. The only match Virat Kohli is playing, what he ends up doing in that match will become the linchpin, which will become very, very pivotal, because if they lose that match, I really can't see who else is going to come in and actually start winning. And Rahane is going to be like, don't make me captain, I have like 100% record, I don't want to get screwed up. And then if I lose these 3 matches, next time you'll be like, oh, you are the person we lost the matches, so you become the scapegoat, and then I'm out from here, then the Delhi will kick me out from there. I'll have to like forcefully retire and start making friends with people like Suresh Raina, and hang out with him and have some interview in Brunch Hindustan Times, and that will be it, call it a day, get a couple of endorsements. So and let's see how it happens.
Just a breaking news while we were recording this. Diego Maradona has just passed away at the age of 60. And
Jesus Christ, I thought he was getting better.
No, he just died. So while we were
because
talking
he was
about
getting better. 16. Oh Jesus, as we were talking, we become like a news channel. This is I can't process it. I can't process it.
That's why
you're just in that limbo thing.
That's why I didn't tell you it happened. I think I got the news 10 minutes back, but I thought let's just finish this, then we'll just break it. I mean, by the
Yeah.
time this gets out, it'll be all over the news. But yeah, it's just happened while we were recording.
Yeah, he was also coaching some team recently. I think he was probably not coaching right now because he was unwell, but
Yeah.
he was there in football. I think one thing I can feel that at least the guy, that's something you say now, when you die, you still continue doing what you love. And same way Jagjit Singh had also died like this. He was actually just
Yeah.
doing a concert and he was just continually, and then one day, and just read that Maradona had a heart attack just after like he was released from the hospital for bleed on his brain or something. Because recently there was news that he was in hospital, then there was news he just turned 60, and so both things were people are talking about that, and people are talking about like how they did not expect him to survive till 60 because the way he's lived his life, which has been
Yeah.
like absolute maverick. He's obviously had health problems, so I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a big news because I'm really big on football, and Diego Maradona is widely considered as one of the greatest, the greatest of all time. And yeah, that's life, right? Just
That's life. Yeah.
people go. It's just crazy, and it's just people dying anyway all the time, and this is just another one. But Diego Maradona, there will be no other Diego Maradona, even if people think like he was not the best and he was one of the best. But there's never going to be another Diego Maradona, and it's going to be like next couple of days at least, because people move on obviously. But next
Yeah.
couple of days is going to be like massive, massive thing in the
Yeah.
newspaper everywhere, and Argentina is going to be like probably already gone into mourning.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just that's what to say. I don't know what to say. So yeah, happy that these people like him survived and lived and gave something football, because I think this is what these people do. Lionel Messi, Virat Kohli is of the world, and Diego Maradona, Pele, and Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo and the new Ronaldo. They just sometimes just make you feel things that you wouldn't have felt otherwise, in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And
True.
because yeah, we're doing this podcast, one day we'll be dead and gone, and like this will probably people like, who are these idiots? And or we'll be old and we're listening to our shit and like, what the fuck are you talking? And they're like, dude, really, like Maradona actually passed away when you were just talking? That's just
Yeah.
it was just crazy. Obviously, to let people know that when you're watching this thing, you'll be like, Maradona already passed away like a couple of days ago, but that's because we're recording and this will go live bit later.
Tomorrow.
So
Yeah.
by the time you see it, so you will feel like, yeah, we already know Diego Maradona has died, but because this is not, we are recording live, we don't edit. That's why sometimes you'll feel like we fumble and all, but I like it that way a bit more. So yeah, I have nothing to say. I just don't want to say generic thing like his family and
Yeah.
everything. But
Yeah.
this is a big loss, but that's the way it works.
That's the
And
way the world
the fact that he
goes.
lived, that was the most important part, and now
Yeah.
he's gone. So I think we'll live on, and something good will come out of that as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, on that note, I hopefully it's a good match between India and Australia, and a good series. I've become a little bit somber right now, so yeah, I will enjoy, and I'll continue to enjoy my football and whatever, carry on. Yeah, that's what we
Yep.
do, right?
Yep.
All right, take care. If you want to like and subscribe, that's up to you as well. And if you're a Maradona fan, uh, just like you, I'm just feeling as weirded out by the whole thing. But let's probably go back and watch a few of his matches, and hand of God goal that everybody keeps talking about that kicked England out in the semi-finals, the
Yeah.
World Cup, and long time ago. And yeah, continue living and probably make the best of it. So that's just, if there's a lesson, that's like, life is very ephemeral, and it's very fleeting. So whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it.
Do it. Yeah.
If you want to murder people, try not to do it. Like, at least don't blame us for inspiring for that. But otherwise, please go ahead and do it, whatever you feel like. And yeah, all right. On that note,
Yep.
this is me, Gav, and this is Bick. And take care. Have a good rest of the week. We'll be back. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.